Sorry, look behind you.
Hãy có phim này.
What does he do? Hey, come over here, show me. He flies. Whoa. Hi, Daisy. so sweet. You wave.
Oh, can I? Sorry.
Can I take a real photo? Okay.
Sorry, Daisy. I thought he was the cameraman. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Daisy. I think Donald's making fun of you, buddy.
I'm taking it. Will you take a picture of me? Hello. Can he, Dad take? I want to see who's taller, you or him. Are you ready?
You ask that we lower our voices. Thank you. Now over here to the right we have an okapi. Now because of the striped pattern there on the okapi's hind legs, many people assume the okapi is closely related to a zebra. Actually, the only relative to the okapi is going to be a giraffe. I know, kind of coming out of left field there. But actually giraffes, or okapis weren't largely discovered until about 1901. But before that, the okapi was simply referred to as Africa's unicorn. Now over here on the right, you're going to see that black and white bird over here. That is a saddle-billed stork. Now saddle-billed storks get their name for that yellow saddle shape there on their beak. What do you see, Ron? Now you can tell the male and the female saddle-bills apart by looking at their eye color. Male saddle-bills have dark brown eyes, where females have bright yellow. Over here to the left at the top of the hill there, you're going to see the bongos. The bongos are also known as ghosts of the forest for how quietly they can move through the forest and how hard they are to find out in the wild. Oh, and now we're going to be heading out of the forest. Our next stop will be down to the Safi River. As we head down to the Safi River, go ahead and keep your eye out on that water line. You just may be able to spot a hippo or two. Now hippos can be a little hard to spot, as they spend most of their time underwater. Hippos can hold their breath for about 8 minutes at a time. Now these large white birds that you see over to the right as well, these large white birds are the pink-backed pelicans. Pink-backed pelicans get their name for the pink color they turn during their mating season. Like during that time, male pelicans will start walking around with large sticks in their mouth, doing so to show off to the ladies that they can build a strong nest together. Pink-backed pelicans also have a pretty impressive wingspan. Their wingspan from wingtip to wingtip is about equal to the width of the canopy above your head. Again, hippos can be difficult to spot as they spend most of their time underwater. They are very adept at swimming, but that is not something you will often catch them doing. They much prefer to walk along the bottom of the river to get from place to place. Now, a group of hippos altogether is called a float. Hippos are one of the lucky animals that get a fun group name. Now you can tell that these are Maasai giraffes by looking at their spots. They have a more irregular shaped spot compared to other types of giraffe, like the reticulated giraffe. You see the giraffe, Minnie? Now this great animal up close to the road, this is one of the wildebeest. The wildebeest are some of the most densely migratory animals. They can migrate in herds as large as 1 million.
Look at the horns on that.
Now, when they travel in herds that size and take off running across the savannah, they can pick up dust clouds so large that they're visible from space. Now, the big horned cattle over here on the right, these are the Ankole cattle. The Ankole cattle are also known as the Watusi cattle. These are the Watusi tribe that first domesticated them. In fact, they are going to be the only domesticated animal that you'll see out here on the reserve. Now, over here on the left, they're not hyenas, they're painted dogs. They may look like hyenas, but hyenas are actually not related to dogs at all. They exist in their own class of family. Whereas painted dogs are closely related to the domesticated dog. Big difference here though, painted dogs only have 4 toes on their paws instead of 5. Over here on the left, you'll see these animals with those curved horns straight back. Those are the sable antelope. Now, the sable antelope are the emblem to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Chosen as the emblem because out in the wild they will fiercely use those horns to defend themselves against predators. And that's kind of the energy we wanted to bring here. We wanted to become fierce defenders of not only the animals here on the reserve, but around the world as well. We're getting some closer looks at the Maasai giraffes. Coming up here on our left-hand side, you'll see the Maasai giraffe doing what they do, and that's eating. Maasai giraffe will spend most of their day eating. That's where those long necks come in handy. They'll reach up tall in the trees and use their long prehensile tongue to reach around thorny branches to get some tasty stuff. Now, a giraffe's tongue is incredibly long. In fact, take a moment to look at your own arm. A giraffe's tongue is about the length from your shoulder to the tips of your fingers.
Look, Minnie. Look at this guy with the big horn.
Coming up here on the right-hand side, looks like we're coming up to some Hartman Mountain zebras. And you can tell the Hartman Mountain zebra apart from other types of zebra due to the more pronounced stripes that they have there on their hind legs. Now, you probably asked yourself the age-old question, are zebras black with white stripes or white with black stripes? The answer is actually pretty simple. You just have to look at their nose. See, the Hartman Mountain zebras have black noses, which tells us that those zebras are black with white stripes. If you see a zebra with a pink nose, that zebra is going to be white with black stripes.
Yeah, I can't lie.
It just goes to show the nose knows.
Good chip, I don't got gold. Minnie, look at it. The draw. Yeah, look guys. Coming up
Over here, it looks like we have a couple more giraffes to see. Fun fact about the giraffe, they're actually one of the only mammals that that are born without vocal cords. Now, that doesn't mean they can't make noise. They actually make sounds by pushing the air up from their stomach through their throat. It ends up making a low bleeding sound, kind of like a sheep.
You want one? You want to take the drop? Yeah. Where are we going to put it, Minnie? You're going to put the drop in like that. Minnie, look at the elephant. Look at
Over there to the right, it looks like we have an African elephant back there. And over to the left, you might be able to see a couple of the mandrills. Mandrills are considered to be the largest type of monkey. In fact, you might recognize a pretty famous Disney mandrill as Rafiki from The Lion King. I'm going to try and get a little closer to that African elephant. Now, since I can only see the one, it implies to me that this is most likely a male elephant. Male elephants tend to travel on their own or in loose bachelor herds. The elephants, they either travel on their own or in those bachelor herds, and they leave the family groups between the ages of 12 and 15, right as they become teenagers. Now, because they leave as teenagers, they might not know where all the good food spots are. They'll typically follow pretty close behind the larger family, usually following behind by about a mile or two. So hopefully as we continue down the road, we'll be able to catch up to that family group in no time. Wow, Minnie. Actually, in large parts of Africa and even some parts of Asia as well, elephants are considered to be pests. In fact, many farmers lose their crops due to migrating herds of elephants. But gotta be honest, can't really say I blame the elephant. I mean, they're just walking by, all they see is a free buffet. So it's up to the farmers to find a peaceful solution to not only protect their crops, but to also protect the elephants from harm. It's actually based on some research that was done right here at the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, but it was discovered that elephants are terrified of bees. So farmers started to place beehives around their crops, and what they noticed right away, that was enough to keep the elephants off their land. So farmers were able to protect their crops, protect the elephants, and as an added benefit, they were able to sell off the honey that was produced by the bees. Works out pretty nice for the bees too, as they are essential parts of our ecosystem as pollinators, so it lets them go and focus on that important pollination work without fear of losing their habitat. If you'd like to learn more about this conservation initiative, you can look it up under the Elephant and Bees Project. One of the many ways that Disney Conservation aids conservation efforts around the world. Uh-oh, Minnie, we're in the water. Now coming up here on our left-hand side, looks like we're coming up to a pool of the greater flamingo. Now the greater flamingo are the largest of the flamingos. They're also the palest pink. Now they're not naturally born this pink color. In fact, it takes them about 2.5 years to turn that shade of pink. Now they get that shade of pink from the foods they eat, which are high in beta carotene. Now, if we were to eat foods high in beta carotene, you wouldn't necessarily turn pink. We would see some color change though, mostly in our fingertips and the corners of our mouth. Instead of turning pink though, those areas would start to turn orange. So it looks like we've entered the coolest spot on the reserve. Now I know it doesn't look like much, but over here to the left, you're going to see that mud pit. And mud pits like this are great places for animals with more sensitive skins to come and hang out. Animals like elephants and rhinos. Rhinos especially love mud pits like this to wallow in the mud to cool down, but to also coat their skin in that layer of mud will help them protect themselves from the sun. Now if you look straight back, you're going to see a trio of ostriches. No need to shout. Now, ostriches are large, flightless birds. Their wings are mostly for balancing. You get a lot of their power from those hind legs. Hind legs propel them to 40 miles per hour. Now over here on the left, it looks like we found some cheetahs. Our cheetahs are incredibly fast. They can hit top speeds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Now they can't hold those speeds for long. They're more of a sprinter. Once they reach those top speeds though, they'll use that long tail of theirs to act like a rudder. That helps them make sharp turns without losing their balance.
Oh, look at that picture, Mom.
It looks like we're also coming up to some white rhinos. Now again, my friends, rhinos especially have very sensitive ears, so as we pass close to them, it is a federal offense to harass endangered animals, so please remain quiet. The white rhinos get their name not for their coloring, but for the Afrikaans word bite. Now, bite literally translates to wide. It's used to describe their mouth shape, which has a more square, rectangular edge to it. Compared to a black rhino, where black rhinos have a more triangular and pointed upper lip. Now coming up here on our left-hand side, you're going to see some warthogs. Warthogs have those long tusks that they use to dig out burrows like the ones you see down low to the ground.
Nice.
And once they have them dug out, they'll actually back themselves into them with their tusks facing outwards.
Zika ostrich. They're huge.